Hello Aries, welcome to your July 2020 reading. Thanks for joining me. My name is Michelle. This is for Sun, Moon, Rising and Venus signs. Special welcome to my podcast listeners on Apple and Spotify. Aries, let's take a look at your energy for the month. You've drawn from Sacred Rebels. Defend to the end the worthwhile. Now, for the benefit of my podcast listeners, the card features a woman who appears to have been through the difficulties of life. I feel that there's an energy around her of suffering, of tears. But what she's wearing is a headdress, and the headdress is made of owl feathers. And so the feeling that I'm getting around this card is one of wisdom, but it's wisdom that has been gained through a lot of experience in life. Now, defending to the end the worthwhile. This is about you knowing yourself and knowing what you want to defend, what you're willing to stand up and fight for in your life, something that you feel is right. There's a sense here of, I'm getting a lot of Queen of Swords or Knight of Swords energy around this. It's not normally your energy, but the feeling that I'm getting around it is it's action, but it's action taken from wisdom. Now, we also have from the Crystal Spirits Oracle the card of Lemurian Quartz as your crystal for the month of July. Lemurian Quartz is a nice energy around this because it speaks of vision. Definitely a feeling around this of dreaming big, not having to humble yourself. Dreaming big, envisioning something new. And it's something that could lead to either prosperity or a sense of accomplishment. Hopefully both for you, Aries. Now, above this, as the overall energy of the reading, we have the card of Vertigo, and this is from the Magic of You Oracle. Vertigo, it's a card which has a giant ornate key on it, and it speaks about choice. Now, it does say whatever you choose will be correct, so you can't make a wrong decision here. But you do have to open one of these doors. You have to use one of these keys. There's several keys here. There is the most ornate one in the front, something that stands out, but that may not be the key that you use. It tells me that you'll have to use your wisdom to make a choice and use the right key to open the door that is going to provide you with the most, I get it as a sense of accomplishment of a goal, a vision that you've had. But overall, it tells me that while making this choice, you really can't make a wrong choice. You know, we can always go back and redirect if we feel we have opened the wrong door. That's the message that I'm getting around that. Vertigo, vertigo has that kind of feeling of not being sure. It has that confusing kind of quality around it. So you may be confused about this choice, but realize that in making a choice here, you can always redirect at a later point. Okay, let's take a look here, Aries. I've already meditated on your energy, and at the bottom of the deck we've got the Three of Wands. So it does speak about having that big, bold vision of the future and choice involved in this. So let's see. I'll draw a 9-card block and we'll talk about the reading. We have the Queen of Pentacles, the Hierophant, the Knight of Pentacles, the Three of Cups. Right in the center we've got the Six of Swords, the Seven of Cups, Justice, Three of Swords, and the Nine of Cups. Okay, Aries, let's take a look. Looking at these cards, overall, I get a feeling here of decisions. We have the Justice card. Now, in making this choice, it feels like you're going to have to weigh up in your mind. I get it as several options. Now, you're going to get confused. I get the energy around this of confusion. There's one in particular, one of these choices, Aries, that you are really hoping for. That's the most ornate key. If you think of the choice here that you've been really attaching a lot of wish fulfillment to, that choice seems like the obvious choice. I get that with the Nine of Cups, but attached to that is potential heartbreak with the Three of Swords. So in making a choice here, it could lead to pain. Now, the thing is, when we come to making a choice, if we let ourselves get stuck, paralyzed perhaps by fear of getting hurt, then we don't make that choice, Aries. And that's what I'm sensing around this. There's paralysis. Now, I do like the top row the most here because we've got all signs of practicality, very Taurian energy, or very much energies around earth sign qualities. So if you have some earth in your chart, Aries, this may resonate more for you. I've got the Queen of Pentacles, the Hierophant, and the Knight of Pentacles. So here is focused movement towards the future, towards that big, bold vision. I feel like there's a really obvious choice, but you're not really... I get a sense here that in making that choice, you're fearing that it's not going to pay off for you long term. Now, you're very focused on something that is going to pay off for you. That's clear to me. But the problem that you're having is that there is something that kind of, I get it as something that you have been brought up with the Hierophant. Something that kind of gnaws away at you about making this choice. Because it may be a choice that goes against perhaps advice, maybe advice of family, or advice of someone around you. Or it could be just a symbol of your traditional values and beliefs. I think that in the past you have been someone who has followed the traditional route, Aries. I feel like I'm talking to someone with a lot of earthier energy for an Aries. And I'm not getting any wand energy in this reading, you'll notice. So this is very much this could be an Aries moon sign or an Aries Venus sign or something like that, because I'm not getting overall traditional Aries energy around this reading. Could also be one for the cross watchers as well. So this is someone here who does tend to get a bit stuck in their ways, a little bit stubborn, and very focused on what they've done in the past. And they keep doing things that same way. Here, though, I feel that there is an option, one of these keys, one of these choices that could pay off quite big for this person. If they're able to kind of get out of their head and stop overanalyzing the situation. Because I get that, Aries, there is a lot of options before you here. Several choices. They probably all look good in some respect. But one of these in particular, I think, has your heart. And that's the thing that's attached to the Three of Swords, because there's fear associated with making the choice that's going to bring you pain. So you may be tempted to make a choice here that is not something that you really, really, really wanted, not at the top of your priority list, but it's the thing that brings you safety or a chance of less pain associated with it. Now, of course, we think of the old saying, right? No pain, no gain. And that's what I'm feeling around this. Yeah, you might make a choice here, Aries, that is not going to bring you pain, but at the same time, there won't be gain. So you may even be going backwards or at least just staying put. There's a feeling there of safety. Whereas you're being urged by spirit to make a big, bold choice, to do something bold, to do something maybe out of character, take on a bit more of that Aryan energy, that get up and go, that fiery energy, that passion, that really standing up for what you want and going for it. Lemurian quartz talks about having that big, bold vision, big picture thinking, unlocking the secrets of infinite possibility. And with that Vertigo card with the key on it, it is unlocking. There's a feeling here of unlocking yourself and leading you to something that's more than you've experienced in the past. That's a feeling here that's a little bit scary. When we have that vertigo, we feel a little bit shaky. And so I get that there's fear associated with this change. Your ability to imagine something bigger and better. Stepping into that Aries power to imagine something bigger and better than you've experienced in the past. I see that with the Six of Swords and the Seven of Cups as using your imagination to think about, if you really thought long and hard about what it is that you would really like, if you had your chance at that wish, would you take it, even though there's a chance of pain associated with it? Aries, that's what you're being asked to do here. Imagine the thing that you really, really want. Imagine yourself going for that. And imagine yourself driving forward towards this goal, feeling the fear, but doing it anyway. That Aries energy. Justice, you may think to yourself, well, I want to know that I'm going to achieve this result before I even start. Well, the thing is, you can't know that. You won't know that. And for you, Spirit is saying that you have to try these keys. You have to try. But it's urging you to take the big, bold choice, to dream big. How do you picture yourself in the future, Aries? How do you picture yourself? The Six of Swords speaks about movement after paralysis, movement after conflict in the mind. It's freeing yourself of conflict in the mind so that you can move forward. It feels to me like freeing up your mind, quieting those thoughts. It's the thoughts that are blocking you. Thoughts of pain, thoughts of hurt, thoughts of past heartbreaks, how the choices that you've made in the past, how things have worked out, they've shaped you. We have that energy of defending to the end, the worthwhile. And with that, Aries, it's like you really want to know, you're really concerned about making the wrong choice. And I get that you're fearful of something that seems like it could just be illusory. Now, if that's the case, if you really do think that maybe the thing that I really want is just an illusion, I think that you have to either do some research or maybe get some advice here. We've got the Hierophant, advice from someone wiser, someone with knowledge of a particular thing that you're going for, to really see if it's something that can be realistically achieved. It could be that before you make this decision. The thing that I'm getting around this is that, Aries, you're a warrior, a defender. Now, you've gone through your own struggles in life, of course. That Three of Swords tells me that there's been heartbreak, there's been grieving. Also grieving in the sense of people around you. You do feel that. You do feel that sense of what's going on in the world. You tend to take that on. especially with this cups energy, it feels to me like feeling, and I feel it's probably in relation to recent events, feeling that vertigo, feeling like things are a little bit off kilter, feeling a bit lost, confused, maybe even doubtful. I don't get a lot of despair, but I feel like the despair here is around a past choice. So you've cried the tears. You've raged at injustice in your own life and injustice for other people as well. And I get for you, you have a very powerful, protective kind of nature as that warrior. But you also have this sensitive side. And it feels like the sensitive side is coming up to the surface at the moment. But it's the sensitive side that you're not used to. Normally, I think you make decisions and you're usually pretty quick on the draw. It's something that you know you want, you go after it. But there's something that's happened here either in the world or in your own life which has caused you kind of to retreat, to withdraw a little and look at these options. So it may have been the recent lockdown. You've taken some time here. You've had the time to look at things in a different way. Now, this is going to help you. Although you may not feel that right now, I get a sense around this of this is going to help you move on to the next level of your life. It's very powerful energy. So there's a sensitivity around you which you're not used to. But there's also an honesty, especially when it's dealing with decisions. You know, you're being really honest with yourself. You also want other people to be honest with you. And for you, there's a real fear of making a wrong decision that could lead to pain or loss. You know, the thing is, when you're thinking about making choices and making use of one of these keys, none of these keys are no less important than the other. Now, you think that one single misstep can begin a landslide of great devastation, like that backslide. But the thing is, if you're truthful with yourself, if you look at what's really meaningful, even in the smallest or seemingly most insignificant way, I get that you will be able to make a choice that comes from something that you feel is going to lead to the thing that you haven't achieved in the past. This feels to me like next level energy. Using that strength of yours to overcome a sense of fear and doubt. And instead, being compassionate with yourself in feeling these feelings of confusion and loss right now, and then being able to move on, staying strong. It's some kind of big emotional journey that I'm sensing around you here, Aries. It's very important. But I get that you sense that this next choice you make is going to be like a major life choice. It could be in a love relationship. It could be choosing to move somewhere. It could be choosing to change career or choosing to look for a new job. So it's very significant change. But I get a lot of fear associated with achieving this goal, this wish fulfillment. Yeah. Now, when we talk about vertigo, the energy that I'm feeling around this one here is the luxury of choice. Sometimes having a lot of options here can confuse us to the point where we just don't choose. We have a sensation of tilting, of those things being off kilter. And so there is analysis paralysis. inaction, what to do, what should you do. But in this card, all of the keys stand straight, and each one opens a door to opportunities. So you can't really make a wrong choice, you just have to make a choice out of these things. Now, the sooner you narrow down these options, the less confused you'll feel, because we all know that when we have too much choice, if you go into your closet and you've got a lot of clothing there, it's hard to make a choice. Whereas when you go in there and you've got 5 things, well, what are you going to put on? Well, you know. So it's that feeling there of reducing the options here to declutter, to make it a little bit less stressful. That's what I'm sensing around this. So let's see, I'm going to pull some Lenormand cards, but having that big, bold vision for the future, going for something that you really want. You're fearful, though, of making the wrong choice. I get that. Now, there are people around you. I do feel that you could, I'd say you'd have to focus on people who you trust. I get the Hierophant there as advice or knowledge. Now, this could be book knowledge as well, or finding out things online, reading about something, gaining more knowledge, gaining the knowledge. The Knight of Pentacles also speaks to me about putting one foot in front of the other and trying, stepping forward, getting out of that paralysis and giving it a go. Yeah, you're stronger than what you think here, Aries. I think this recent emotional turmoil, something that's happened here either with yourself or generally feelings about the world situation, has caused a little bit of loss of momentum, and maybe even a sense here of things just being off. You know, things have just felt a little bit strange in your world recently here, Aries. So let's get to some clarifiers. We'll start with the Queen of Pentacles. We've got the Rider now. So there's that movement, a choice of what's going to bring you what you really want, what's worthwhile for you long term. Now, for some of you, it'll be stability, security, something that brings prosperity, a nurturing energy. With the Hierophant, we have the Moon. Yeah. That's that confusion and illusion. You know, ultimately, although you may be getting advice from other people, you have to be able to trust in your own knowledge, trust in what you know, trust your intuition as well as the knowledge given to you from an external source. You know, things may not be as they seem with the Moon card and the Hierophant. So what may be an obvious choice here may not be the right choice. I'm also getting that. The Knight of Pentacles, we have the Birds. Slowing things down, taking things one step at a time. You know, I really think that for you making this choice right now, it tells me that July may not be the right time to actually act on the choice, but it is the time for you to find stuff out, to gain knowledge. If there's people involved, you know, to get to know those people on a very practical level, you know, not just the illusion of love or the illusion of, oh, that person looks really great or they're exciting or anything like that. No, it's kind of digging beneath the surface, digging beneath the illusion, getting to really know that person or whatever it is that you're going for here. It's getting down to the nuts and bolts so that you can make the choice, because it tells me that something here may not be exactly what it appears. It seems like it's like the safe choice, the obvious choice, the thing, oh, I should go for that. That one seems to me to be the one that you really need to look at. Now, the scary choice, the big bold choice that you may be putting to one side, that speaks to me of something there that you're also not taking into account. Now, we have the lilies with the Three of Cups. Yeah, this feels to me like a choice. Some of you may have a choice between lovers. I get that. There may have been a third-party situation here where you have to choose between two. For others of you, it's a choice between a couple of different options. Both of them are pretty close. One seems more safe than the other. The other one seems to involve some kind of risk of getting hurt. Maybe that's because you have more of your heart involved in that choice. Right in the center, we've got the mountain with the Six of Swords. So yes, there's obstacles to overcome, a blockage, and it's the mind. It's the thoughts here of being hurt, fear. And the Seven of Cups with the mice, it's about reducing the options so that you don't have this confusion of what do I choose, what do I choose. Yeah, it tells me that July is going to be a month here, Aries, where you really have to narrow down the confusion, find out what you need to know about all of these options, and eliminate the options that are a no-go. And then hopefully you get narrowed down to the one choice. Now with Justice, we have the Ring. So for some of you, it could be a choice to get involved, to make a commitment. For others of you, it feels to me like this sense of justice within yourself here, making sure that you make the right choice for you. And this is a feeling here of something that comes around, like circles in the mind. It feels to me like an energy of constant thoughts about what do I do, what choice do I make, what choice do I make. With the Justice card, it's more of a clinical energy, knowing if you put down on paper pros and cons, making that kind of choice. Yeah. With Justice, there are, of course, consequences to choice. And I think that for you, you're fearful of consequences, especially if you feel it's going to lead to potential heartbreak, hurt, or pain. Now, with the Three of Swords, we've got the Anchor. So there's remaining thoughts around hurt. Those fears seem to cycle around. And the Nine of Cups, we have the Fox. And that's about a card of self-interest. It's a card here of what it is that you want, Aries. So what is it that you want? Truly, if you had your druthers, what would be at the top of your list? And look into it. See if it's reality. You may be thinking, oh, that's just pie in the sky, but what if it's not? What if it isn't? So I think you have to really take a good hard look at things here, Aries, that's for certain. Now, defending to the end the worthwhile, let's get a card on that. We have the Cross. It feels like you've been burdened in the past. There has been a lot of hurt in your life. You've experienced difficulty, but coming out the other side of that, I feel that you really have to trust that you've gained a lot of wisdom and knowledge from your past decisions, things that haven't gone well. So rather than doubt yourself, doubt your ability to make a good choice, this is you realizing that, maybe I didn't make the right choice in the past, but that doesn't mean I can't go back here and use a different key. These keys here speak to me of many pathways in life. And if you make a wrong choice, you could go back and change it. I was getting that right from the beginning. Let's have a look at that Vertigo card. We have the Bear. Yeah, that's your power, Aries. That's that warrior, that sacred warrior energy around you. Use it. You're more powerful than you think. You're more strong than you think right now. Definitely. Now, Lemurian Quartz, we have the Man, and that may be your energy if you're a male here, or you could have a vision of someone who is perhaps a potential lover, or someone here, Aries, who is going to be part of this decision-making process. So the feeling that I'm getting around this overall is one in which you're being asked to consider, take your time. The obvious choice, I think, is the one that you need to really take a good hard look at. The harder choice, the one that feels a bit risky, that you're fearful of, you also need to look at that, because you may have automatically discounted that thinking, oh, that's not reality, I can't achieve that. But Aries, you're being asked to look at whether or not that really is something that could be achieved for you. Remembering your power. And if you've made a wrong choice recently, Aries, this is suggesting that you can, it's not too late, I feel, to backtrack and take one of these other keys, especially if this is something that's going to be lifelong for you, going to have some kind of lifelong consequence, a commitment of some kind. So let's see what the message is here. The last message for Aries for July, please, Spirit Guides. Message for July. What do we have for Aries? Message for Aries from the Soul Truth Oracle. Message for Aries. What does Aries need to hear? Okay. We have, am I communicating my needs? Your needs matter. What are you needing right now? What are you afraid of? Is it possible that what you are fearing is not true? Now, the soul action with this is journaling these answers. What are my needs? Am I saying no and yes enough based on my desires? Am I telling my full truth? Do I believe that my needs matter, and do I share them with others? Do I ask for what I want? When communicating my needs, what am I resisting and with whom? What do I need in order to feel safe enough to express my needs? So getting down to that basis of what it is that you really want, and knowing that that's something that you should stand up for, that you should stand strong and say, you know what, that's really what I want to achieve. No matter these fears or doubts. Now, they could be fears and doubts that are brought on within yourself, or perhaps by other people towards you, the naysayers. We also have what boundaries need to be created or strengthened within my relationships, creating healthy boundaries. But to create more healthy boundaries, we must first get in tune with our own needs, desires, and feelings, and believe we are worthy of them. So it's essential to know what these needs, desires, and feelings, well, you need to know that they're worthy, that whatever you want here is worthy. So if someone's telling you that they're not worthy, they are. Now, when we separate our energy from others, we gain clarity about what we really want. Then we stop doing things that no longer align with ourselves. So if you're an empath, you can still be compassionate toward others without taking on their stuff. So it's safe to trust that you're not here to fix anyone. Today's mantra is, I have everything I need within me now, and so do they. I am worthy of my needs, and I set boundaries based on what's best for me. Yeah, so it may be that someone around you here is overstepping some boundaries, perhaps trying to get you to do something here that goes against what your needs, your desires, what you really want. And you're being asked to strengthen a boundary, but in a compassionate way. You know, this is not about being hostile to anyone. This is about just being very direct and setting a boundary with someone, saying, no, I appreciate your input, but this is how I feel and this is what I'm going to do. So communicating your needs to others and making sure that you have these strong boundaries around you so that others don't overstep them and kind of encroach on you. And I get an energy around you, Aries, of someone who really wants to achieve that big, bold vision, but there's some kind of thing here that's holding them back. It may be family, it may be another person, something that's more, I get, comfort or tradition or safety. Whereas you have this other thing that you have the strength and power to achieve if you are strong enough to set this boundary with these people. I feel it's an exterior thing that's holding you back, but that's also part of the energy around this fear of yours as well, fear of leaving people behind, and also letting that block you. Letting it block your movement towards something that you really want to achieve here, Aries. So I'm going to leave it there and wish you all the very best. Thanks very much for watching, and a special thank you to my podcast listeners on Apple and Spotify. Please be sure to check out my YouTube channel, Gypsy Insights by Michelle, for more readings. Guys, please press that thumbs up button. If you wouldn't mind, leave me a comment as well. And please do check out the other signs here, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. Wishing you the best. And don't forget, for a personal reading, you can email me, gypsyinsights@gmail.com, for more information. Hope to hear from you soon. Wishing you the best, Aries. Bye for now.